The big news over the weekend was the 49ers trading Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders for a fifth round draft pick. Some were surprised, some weren't. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we have a little bit of a developing story kind of going on right now in regards to Deebo Samuel, him kind of giving a farewell to the 49ers, kind of showing some love, but also a situation where he's actually pushing back a little bit on reports that he was like big time overweight. So let's first get into his kind of farewell message, and then we'll kind of circle back to the reporting that is being done on him being overweight. Deebo tweeted, 49ers know where I stand with them, and it's nothing but love. Love John and Kyle to death. No bad blood, no way, shape, or form. They know I'm more than appreciative of everything they done for me as a player and a man. Nothing but love. So again, this was actually right after he quote tweeted. It was basically a report from Matt Barrows of The Athletic, who was confirming a report from Tim Kawakami that Deebo Samuel was indeed overweight and substantially overweight. Matt Barrows did mention there was an actual number that was given out by a source internally about how much overweight Deebo Samuel was. He didn't go into detail on that, but effectively what they were saying is yes, Deebo Samuel weight, it was a problem. And not only was it a problem last year, they were saying it's been something that they've been concerned about since he came to Santa Clara in 2019, and it never fully went away. So obviously, like you kind of saw this with the Luka Doncic trade. When he got traded, what started to come out? Oh, they didn't like that he was, drinking beer. They didn't like that he was smoking hookah. Well, Deebo Samuel gets traded. It's starting to come out. His weight was a problem. It was an issue. He was, constantly overweight, all that kind of stuff. Basically saying he was 20 pounds overweight last year. And so Deebo quote tweeted that, and he said, I was 225 to be exact. Can't wait till the season starts. Fresh start for new Bo. And so that was his response to that report. And then right after that, he put out those nice words. So honestly, I do believe Deebo when he says, he's got nothing but love for them. Him and Kyle Shanahan clearly had a strong relationship. And things happen, things change. Sometimes you change jobs. Change of scenery doesn't mean you like lose love for the people, but sometimes a change is needed. And I think we all agree that a change was needed with Deebo. I don't dislike Deebo, but I also do feel like a change was needed. It was time. And so, but I got nothing but love for Deebo at the same time. We can talk about how poorly last year went until we are blue in the face, but we all understand Deebo was such an impactful player for the San Francisco 49ers the second he touched down in Santa Clara. And yes, it was, there was ups, there was downs, but there was, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, there was really a lot more ups than there were downs, in my opinion. And kind of what really solidified this to me was when I was on Instagram and I was making some posts and I was trying to kind of capture like when he first landed with the San Francisco 49ers, getting drafted, getting the draft day call, starting with the Senior Bowl when that's where him and Kyle Shanahan, first were able to, build their relationship, to Deebo Samuel getting the draft call. So you get the point. Like I was going through, seeing his first touchdown as a rookie, all that stuff. I was just going through just all the highlights down memory lane, and it's just, and this is all in my camera roll. I have so many like cool, great Deebo Samuel moments and content of what Demo did, or excuse me, of what um, Deebo Samuel did for the San Francisco 49ers, and just all the cool moments that he was a part of. And, it's you might not like where things ended with Deebo Samuel, but you simply cannot discredit how important he was to the San Francisco 49ers when, they were the most successful they had been in, since the Harbaugh era. And he was a big part of that. And so, uh, the point was of what I was saying is I was just going through, and there's so many moments. I couldn't fit it on into a 20 slide post on Instagram. There was just too many. And um so with Debo, I I think with where we're at, and I think like with his tweet, I think that was very classy of him. I think he could have, maybe interpreted this as, oh, look, the 49ers trying to take shots at me on my way out the building. But for him to kind of turn that and turn that into appreciation and all that stuff, I do think that was a great move on his part. And in all honesty, I do appreciate Debo. Debo was, like I've talked about before, he was a draft crush. He was a guy that I was banging the table for, that I believe the 49ers should draft. I thought he would fit the scheme and the system extremely well. He was a part of my final mock draft in the second round. So he was a guy that I believed in before he was a San Francisco 49er. And, and he came in and did pretty much what I anticipated and expected him to do. Um, and, obviously there's bumps along the way, and there was a bit of a decline. And, it is what it is. I think a lot of the things that were being discussed today were about Debo Samuel and his play style, and maybe why the 49ers didn't give him a super long-term contract, because they didn't believe that his play style would be able to stand a lot of years. So that's why they were able to get out of his contract the way they were, and have Washington take on his remaining deal and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, 49ers, Debo, they really just were solid. And when things were good, they were great. And so you got to appreciate Debo. You got to appreciate his time here. You might, you can have all the opinions and thoughts that you want, but he was a big part of the success that the 49ers had, and I appreciate what Debo brought to the table. So, again, the word that I use to describe this is bittersweet, because although it was time for a change and a change of scenery, when you start looking back, you're like, man, he really was a part of so many great memories with the San Francisco 49ers. So you let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.